Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Classes resume at Jesse Ripple Primary days after principal's tragic passing. No need to panic, MAJ says. HMPV already likely in Jamaica. And later in sports, defending champions Cavalier held to a 2-all draw by Waterhouse in Jamaica Premier League. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here are the details. It was a tear-jerking start to the new school term at the Jesse Ripple Primary School in Kingston this morning, as students, parents and staff reflected on the life of the principal, ONeal Stevens. Mr. Stevens and his wife died in a motor vehicle accident in the United States over the weekend. Kelisha Williams was at the school this morning.
Things are winding down here at the Jesse Ripple Primary School in Kingston, but hours earlier there were dozens of parents, students and teachers gathered here at the school to honor the life of this man, ONeal Stevens, who was the principal at the school, who lost his life in a tragic motor vehicle accident in the United States over the weekend, along with his wife. The general message here as they joined in mourning this morning and in worship was that Mr. Stevens was an honorable man, an excellent principal who was a giant in education and someone who will be truly missed. In fact, I spoke with a parent who told me that he had such a good rapport with students and staff here that he knew each student by name. And the last message he delivered to staff before they head into the Christmas holidays was that they should love and forgive each other. In terms of support here, the Education Ministry has been here, and there are over 50 counselors now locked in sessions with students. One thing that the students and staff here, as they joined in worship this morning and as they honor Mr. Stevens, was that they're sending out thoughts and prayers for his daughters, one of whom attended this school. I will be here and I'll have more details on this story in primetime news at 7. Reporting from the Jesse Ripple Primary School, I'm Kelisha Williams for TVJ News.
Thank you, Kelisha. To other news now. Head of the Manchester Police Superintendent Kerry Duncan has provided more details on the incident that led to the fatal shooting of Okwiri Gale Monday. According to Superintendent Duncan, when police arrived at the scene on the Carteret Road, they found Gale attacking his 77-year-old father with a chopping instrument. Superintendent Gale says despite being instructed to stop, Gale refused and was subsequently shot.
Mr. Gale, however, continued the attack on the man, the helpless man that was on the ground. And at this point, for the fear that the man on the ground would be further injured or killed by Mr. Okwiri Gale, the police officers, in defense of the gentleman's life, discharged their weapon in the direction of Mr. Okwiri Gale, who was hit. Both gentlemen were assisted immediately to the Mandeville Regional Hospital, where Okwiri Gale succumbed to his injuries, and the elderly man was admitted in a serious condition.
Superintendent Duncan says the incident is being investigated by the Independent Commission of Investigations.
This very unfortunate incident really underscores the importance of persons to find amicable and mature way to treat with disputes. There are so many agencies that are available to assist in these areas. So we speak about the CSSB department at my police station, chaplains and justices of the peace, and the restorative justice centers that are available.
The St. Catharines South Police Division has recorded its lowest murder figures in more than 2 decades. The revelation was made at a virtual town hall meeting on Sunday. Karen Simpson reports.
Remarkable and something to be celebrated. This, according to head of the Area 5 Police, Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police, Christopher Phillips. He was highlighting the achievement of the St. Catherine South Police Division in its efforts to stem crime in 2024. Statistics from the Jamaica Constabulary Force point to 83 murders being committed last year when compared to 102 in 2023. ACP Phillips said this reduction speaks to the effort and partnership with the police.
The last time the division had such a low figure in murders especially was back in 2002. And the last time they went under 100 in terms of murders is back in 2018. Now I know the efforts that was put in, even the previous years, 22, 23, and now you have attained it in 24, speaks to the kind of resilience and persistence that you have demonstrated and the support, the increase in support of our citizens there.
ACP Phillips added that the achievement also spanned across the St. Catherine North and St. Thomas Police Divisions for the period. While noting that St. Catherine has become a hub for criminal activities, the ACP stressed that the police will be implementing several initiatives to curb crime and violence in the parish.
We have serious work to do. We have started on a momentum that we will not break. And as the area commander, I am recommitting all my energy to ensure that we realize serious reduction in murders, in major crimes right across Area 5 for 2025. This year is our year for some high fives. It's going to be a performance year, and we're taking it very, very seriously.
Kerry-Ann Simpson, TVJ News.
Chief Justice Brian Sykes has welcomed the Prime Minister's announcement about legislative changes to the procurement process. Justice Sykes was speaking during the swearing-in of judges at King's House in St. Andrew on Monday. Chief Justice Brian Sykes revealed that judges have had their fair share of unpleasant experiences navigating the procurement process. This, he explained, has resulted in unnecessary delays and inefficiencies. He gave an example, the purchase of an air conditioning unit for the Court of Appeal.
With regard to the air conditioning unit in the Court of Appeal, which is almost a year now, and the part still is not here. A problem in the Supreme Court with the central air conditioning unit. We decided to go to split unit, same thing. Went out, did the procurement, found a supplier who actually had the air conditioning units in Jamaica.
Justice Sykes says the current procurement process is too bureaucratic.
Nothing to suggest that the person is a rascal or anything like that. So you'd want to think that this is a good decision. Again, because of the value, it had to go to this entity outside. They said, no. This person that you have selected is not a grade 1 or grade 2 provider. So having regard to the size, and so you have to go with a grade 1 or a grade. But you said, but the man has the thing here, we need it now. We said, no, you have to go with a grade 1 or a grade 2 provider. So we said, okay, let us go and find this grade 1 or grade 2 provider. The person had no money to execute the contract, no air conditioning units. So what's the end result? No air conditioning units in the areas that need it.
He also said it can be quite costly to seek alternative routes to get things done.
Lease the equipment from the person. But have regard to the costs. We recognize that, but if this continues, we're paying for the thing several times over. So we decided to say, okay, let us buy the equipment. So because of the price, it had to go to this body outside. They said, no. You need to do over the process and open it up. So what was the end result? The end result was that we don't have the equipment, we didn't get the training, and we ended up paying funds that you could have purchased the system 3 times.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has acknowledged the issue and has committed to removing some of the bureaucracies. It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. The Medical Association of Jamaica is warning against panic amid concerns about the human metapneumovirus. And although China has seen a surge in cases, MAJ President Dr. Leslie Mead says that there's no need for worry about a pandemic at this time. He was a guest on TVJ's Smile Jamaica Tuesday. The recent surge in human metapneumovirus HMPV infections in China has prompted health officials to enhance its screening, detection, and isolation protocols. Hospitals in China are experiencing overcrowding due to the surge in cases. However, according to President of the Medical Association of Jamaica, Dr. Leslie Mead, there is no need to panic since HMPV has been around for some time and many people have developed immunity to it.
The COVID-19 caused a pandemic because it was new. No one had any immunity against the COVID-19, and so it was able to spread throughout the world. This is different. The HMP have been around about 23 years now. And we find that many persons, not just in China, but in Europe and the USA, have been exposed to this virus. And so there is some amount of natural immunity. And so we should not find that we will have a pandemic outbreak, all being equal.
Given the interconnection of the world through travel, it's highly likely that cases of the virus are already present in Jamaica.
We must be doing our surveillance in terms of all respiratory infections, particularly those that can develop and become severe. We have persons who are traveling all over the world. And so I would tell you, it is likely that we may have had a few persons who have HMPV here in Jamaica.
HMPV currently has no vaccine or antiviral medications available to treat it. Instead, the focus is on treating symptoms and providing supportive care. According to Dr. Mead, the health sector is also closely monitoring the situation as well as other viruses and is prepared to respond to any eventualities that may arise.
If it is that any other such viruses come in, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is ready and they have been doing their surveillance so that they can act accordingly. And similarly, we should also look at whether or not we should be also screening actively for the HMPV as well, so that we can be clear what exactly is circulating within our environment.
A mysterious fire has sparked political tension in southeast St. Elizabeth. Both the JLP and the PNP are pointing fingers at each other as they distance themselves from the incident yesterday. Sandy Williams reports.
A mystery political fire erupted in the middle of the Exton Main Road in southeast St. Elizabeth, daring anyone, whether on foot or in a vehicle, to challenge its authority. The fiery barricade early Monday morning disrupted transportation plans for students making their return to the classrooms after the holiday break. The turmoil has triggered a blame game, with both political parties pointing fingers at each other. Franklin Witter is the Member of Parliament for the constituency.
I just repeated that road. It's a beautiful stretch of road. And the PNP go there with a demonstration, mashing up the road again. But, that is PNP.
Oh, so you are saying the JLP have nothing to do with this, the protest?
It couldn't be destroying our road that we just fixed $30 million to repair the road. It's in a beautiful condition, one of the best roads in Jamaica. Why would you want to go there to destroy our effort that we would have put in to repair the road? It's PNP business, I don't business with it.
In a release, MP candidate Norman Scott condemns the blockage of the Exton Main Road. The release states no member of the People's National Party was involved in or supported this disruptive action. It notes that the PNP, under the leadership of Mr. Scott, remains committed to peaceful dialogue and constructive engagement, adding that the PNP is dedicated to addressing the genuine concerns of people of Southeast St. Elizabeth, focusing on the development of the constituency and the well-being of its residents. Firefighters were alerted to the scene, and by dawn, the flames had been reduced to smoldering ash. But while the physical fire has been extinguished, the political heat in the constituency shows no signs of cooling down. Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
The Bank of Jamaica says it received 238 applications, valued at $54.5 billion for the $30 billion it sought to raise yesterday. The central bank issued a 26-month, 6.5% per annum fixed-rate certificate of deposit, but it accepted only 123 bids, valued at $30 billion. The average yield for these successful bids was 6.24%, while the lowest bid was for $500 million at 5.85%. The highest bid was for $1.1 billion at 6.44% per annum. Further afield, Airbus is counting the cost of last-minute financial concessions to airlines to overcome a spate of minor quality problems after scrambling to deliver a provisional 123 jets in December. The end-year rush brings preliminary 2024 deliveries to 766 jets, up 4% from 2023, but this is subject to internal audits, meaning it could still be trimmed by 1 or 2 jets before final data is released on Thursday. Airbus has been under pressure to meet targets and deliver on promises to investors after a profit warning in July. But unions and some airlines have raised concerns that the push to speed up deliveries has come at the expense of quality problems. For the Business Minute, I'm Shane Masters.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, 3 Haitian nationals who overstayed their visitor's visa in the Bahamas have been ordered deported after either paying their fines or serving jail time. The 3 all pleaded guilty to overstaying. The court heard that one of the Haitians, who was fined $1,500, had overstayed her legal visit by 1 year, 3 months and 5 days. Failure to pay the fine would result in a 6-month jail term. Another, who overstayed by 7 months, was given the option of paying the $750 fine or spending 3 months in prison, while the third, who spent almost 2 years in the country illegally, was fined $1,500 with a default sentence of 6 months in prison. On the international scene, at least 95 people have been confirmed dead and 130 are injured after a major earthquake struck the mountainous Tibet region in southern China Tuesday morning. The earthquake had a magnitude of 7.1 and a depth of 10 kilometers. There was a series of aftershocks in the area. Tremors were also felt in neighboring Nepal and parts of India. Earthquakes are common in the region, which lies on a major geological fault line. And at least 5 people have died in a winter storm in the US, which has also led to mass school closures, travel chaos, and power cuts. More than 2,300 flights have been cancelled, with nearly 9,000 delays owing to the extreme weather caused by the polar vortex of icy cold air that usually circles the North Pole. Around 190,000 people had no power early on Tuesday across states in the storm's path. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Hal Shane Burke.
We take another break. Midday Sports is next.